Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
It would probably surprise you greatly if you were with me again. Some of the things I have caught people doing and I have documented on film.
Secrets from a private eye himself, watching those in the Valley who might never expect it. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. A cheating spouse, a scammer, a criminal. Private investigators aren't like the ones you see on TV. The dirty work of following people around, that can take weeks.
But their tactics might look familiar. Valley News Team's Nicole Johnson shows us what a day in the life of a private eye looks like.
You can expect that somebody's going to be watching your activities.
Somewhere in Fargo Moorhead, in a nondescript location at a building we won't mention where,
People are fairly oblivious.
is a team of men and women taking on cases.
If I know I'm going to be doing a week's worth of surveillance, yeah, I'm probably going to be wearing a baseball cap and jeans and probably not shave all week.
Al Kalesa, private eye, has caught those claiming to be injured carrying heavy objects, dug up criminals that may have gotten off, and caught cheaters in the act.
They've been living with this in their mind for several months, several years, is my spouse being unfaithful to me, and they just want to know.
So if he takes the case, Al will hide in plain sight, wait, watch, and take pictures for hours.
You want to get close enough to keep eyes on your target.
Even spying on the go. To learn the tricks of the trade, we had Al run some surveillance on me.
It really is a cat and mouse game.
While following me, he attempts to stay in my blind spot.
At some point, I may put my visor down to conceal my identity a little bit better. For a while, I may not wear sunglasses. After a while, I may put sunglasses on.
For the average person like me, cranking the tunes, he says would never expect there's someone watching.
If you watch them well enough, you can see if they're glancing up into the rear view mirror quite a bit.
But if he gets the hint you're catching on, he might switch cars or come back later because now he knows where to find you.
You know, where their kids go to school, what time the kids are dropped off, what time they're picked up, favorite grocery stores, favorite liquor stores, family and relatives, daycares.
Watching where you go to get that perfect shot to prove the case.
It's not an easy thing to do.
While Al is a pro, he has been caught spying before and confronted.
You try to talk your way out of it.
Talking his way out of it, he says it's a skill he's learned from thousands of hours of waiting and watching. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Well, Al was in law enforcement for years before becoming a private eye with Sentry Security and Investigations. He says if you're looking to hire one, make sure they are licensed and bonded. If you want more information, we've got a link to their website. Log on to valleynewslive.com and then click on this story.
An alleged weekend domestic assault case involving North Dakota's Superintendent of Public Instruction isn't the first trouble between Kirsten Baesler and her fiancé. Baesler posted bond after being arrested and jailed for allegedly assaulting Todd Chasik. Baesler says an argument caused her to fear for her safety and that problems had been escalating for months. Bismarck police say they got a call for a domestic disturbance early Sunday morning and found Chasik with a visible injury and dried blood on his face. He told police Baesler had assaulted him. KFGO is reporting that Chasik was accused of assaulting Baesler in a Florida hotel room last summer. Court documents indicated that Baesler didn't cooperate with authorities in the Florida case, and prosecutors dropped the charge.
Well, domestic violence plagues millions across the country, including thousands of faces right here in our community, men and women that you never really would know about. Between the YWCA and the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center, nearly 5,000 people seek help a year, and in most of those cases, it takes a woman on average 7 to 9 times before she finally leaves this situation for good. 15% of those people are men, a number that's much smaller than in reality. You may never know their faces because stepping out to explain the pain could mean thousands of steps back.
You know, it's our innermost selves, it's our most intimate relationships, and to expose them can make you feel very vulnerable. And
Now, the most common cases of domestic violence involve finances and being driven into debt by the abuser so the victim can't leave on their own. If you or a loved one's looking to get help, call the YWCA or the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center. We've put the phone numbers on valleynewslive.com. Now, if you need help uncovering fraud and corruption in your community, just call our whistleblower hotline and we'll do our very best to get to the bottom of it. Call 701-237-6576. Leave your tip with us and a member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work exposing the truth.
Crude oil from North Dakota is part of a massive fiery train derailment in West Virginia. The train derailed in Montgomery, that's about 60 miles from Charleston. It's a fairly remote location, but 200 people have been evacuated from their homes as a precaution. There have been several explosions and the spilled crude has leaked into the river, which supplies water to communities downstream. Those communities' intakes have been shut down for the time being. One house has caught fire and been destroyed. There have been no injuries reported.
We were standing down on the riverbank when we saw the train explode, well, a car explode, and it shot up a mushroom cloud about as high as those plume is now, like that.
Here's where Montgomery is located in West Virginia. West Virginia's governor has issued a state of emergency for neighboring counties impacted by this disaster.
If you've noticed gas prices creeping upward, you're not alone. Around the country, the price for a gallon of gas has been on the rise for the last few weeks. According to AAA, the national average has jumped from $2.08 a gallon a month ago to $2.25 today. This marks the third week in a row that prices have ticked up. The cheapest gas in the nation is still under $2 a gallon in Idaho. The most expensive state, Hawaii, where the price has moved just over the $3 mark. Good news, prices are still pretty low. Last year at this time, the nationwide average for a gallon of gas was $3.35. Here in the Valley, we're seeing gas prices right around the national average. According to AAA, regular prices in Fargo are about $2.05. Grand Forks is slightly higher at $2.21.
The city of West Fargo gets numerous complaints from residents about the quality of its drinking water. 3 possible solutions are being considered, one that could mean partnering with Fargo. Valley News Team's Christina Craig reports on the price tags associated with paying for clean drinking water.
The water is horrible. It's the way it's been since I lived here. It just got a cloudiness all the time.
Smells funny. It makes your ice cubes taste like garlic. The water foams in your glass.
That's only just the start of dirty water issues for this West Fargo family.
Anything that you boil, like potatoes, pasta, rice, it all comes out with an off taste.
I think we're a little ahead of the game.
Now, the city of West Fargo is looking to partner with Fargo to improve the water quality.
The question is, how does Fargo feel about doing a partnership? And if so, what kind of a board makeup would there be? Equal partnership, equal board members?
If West Fargo partnered with Fargo, residents would pay $17 per 1,000 gallons used per month. That's almost double from the current fee of $9. Another option would be for West Fargo to buy its water from Fargo. That would cost $2 more a month than right now. If West Fargo goes it alone, expanding on its current water plant, that would cost the most, $31 per 1,000 gallons per month.
It will add up.
One thing they all agree on is that a fix is needed.
I think they'd be better off if they partnered with Fargo, because I work over on the Fargo side, so the water is pretty good tasting.
With West Fargo's rapid growth, some think it's best to expand on existing water services.
The quick fix would be to get it from Fargo.
But this family says any fix is better than what's coming out of the faucet now.
There's chunks of stuff already in the bottom of that glass.
In West Fargo, Christina Craig, Valley News Live.
West Fargo is working on an agreement with Fargo in the near future and hopes to have a decision by this summer. Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.
The race for the Fargo City Commission today grows to 6. Cole Carley announced that he is a candidate for the commission in the special election. Carley says, among other things, water issues are among his top priorities and that adequate includes adequate water supplies for future growth. He's also solidly behind the diversion project to protect Fargo from flooding. Carly's the former head of the Fargo Moorhead Visitors and Convention Bureau, and he retired from that position in 2012. The special election will be held in April.
Dave Pepcorn announced his plans today, saying he's not running for mayor. Pepcorn was considering the move, but decided that the time wasn't right. He says this is the busiest time for his small business, and he just couldn't make it work. If he did run, that would require another special election to fill his seat, so he's staying on the city commission.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
We've certainly been on a more wintry stretch of weather here across the normal.
Yeah,
and we're actually below average temperature-wise, something we haven't experienced much yet this winter, but as we head into the next several days, more of the same. Here's a look outdoors right now. It's quiet out there. We have some flurries flying, so some streets taking on that slippery structure once again. 5 above the temperature. Feels like 15 below thanks to those winds that are still out of the north, and they're at 20 miles per hour. Here's a look around the region. It's already below zero for many along and north of Highway 2. Roseau holding off at 0. Lakes Country, we have 7 in Fergus Falls, but 3 in Detroit Lakes. Wadena at 1 degree. Factor in those winds. They're out of the north and northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. We're getting some blowing, some drifting, and reduced visibilities, especially in open country. Factor in the temperature and the wind, and we have wind chills that are already between 20 and 30 below, mainly in the northern valley, and that's where the satellite shows a little bit of clearing as the cold air is entering the region from the north. Now, as we take a look, you can almost see the -11 up there in Winnipeg. So some cold air is diving southward tonight. We'll notice some big changes as we go through the overnight hours. A little bit of snow down near the Sisseton Hills and Aberdeen moving southward. Isolated light flurries of snow elsewhere, but they've been so persistent that we're getting that light dusting on area roads. Not so much a dusting out in the mid-Atlantic states as a major storm system brings another shot of winter to the East Coast. Our overnight looks like this, hour by hour style. Clearing skies and temperatures plummeting down in the 5 to 15 below category for most locations. Northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 30 miles per hour for the morning. Mean wind chills will be between 25 and 35 below zero, maybe a 40 below at times. So bundle up your bus riders for first thing of the morning. Again, as we head through the mid-morning hours, I'm expecting that we'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies. And then the real cold Arctic surge starts to make its way into the northernmost counties late in the day. So temperatures do have a chance in our southern counties to get to near zero in the afternoon. But notice wind chills will still be in that -18, -20 category throughout the day. Up north, wind chills still near -30. And here we go with an afternoon chance of light flurries of snow. Gusty winds over 35 miles per hour will once again cause blowing, drifting, reduced visibility for much of the northern Minnesota counties. Heading into the evening, spotty flurries everywhere, temperatures plummeting for one of the colder nights of the season thus far, again as we head into Wednesday morning. A wind chill advisory for almost all of our counties with the exception of those south and west of Fargo Moorhead. Planning afternoon forecast shows 2 degrees tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock in Grand Forks. Langdon, mostly cloudy and 3 below zero, and we could see some light flurries across Roseau County, Kitson County, and all the way into Red Lake County. At Thief River Falls, you'll have 0 degrees on your way home from work tomorrow. Here's a look at hour-by-hour detail. Fargo's forecast overnight tonight, temperatures plummet down to around 10 below. Northwest winds as we start the day will be 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wind chills around 30 below zero. Rising temperatures through the mid-morning hours, and here's how the rest of the day fares. We don't rise that much. Single-digit readings throughout the day with the wind increasing and gusting to as high as 35 miles per hour. With all the ice crystals in the sky, we're likely to see more of this. Litchfield, North Dakota. Mark, thanks for sharing this beautiful sundog photo and a sun pillar there as well. Planning forecast shows the cold really grabbing on and not letting go. 16 below Wednesday morning, -2 the afternoon temperature. And then as temperatures stay below zero into Thursday morning, we finally see a reprieve by Friday. But that comes with some frosty flakes. And the weekend we'll have temperatures that will still be subpar for this time of the year, but maybe by Monday we get closer to average for this time of the year.
Not too bad, though, still. We've had a pretty good winter.
It's been pretty quiet compared to, say, Buffalo.
Yes. Yes. Still to come on Valley News Live 10 at 10. Details about the visit that MSUM got from a literary legend.
But first, what's happening to teen sleep habits over the years?